Lovely to meet you. Austin Butler, welcome back to Australia.
So good to be back.
When you're sitting this close to one of the biggest movie stars on the planet, it's hard not to get a little flustered.
You do this thing where you look into someone's soul. I'm getting it now.
Yeah?
Yeah, you have a very piercing gaze.
You have a piercing gaze too.
Do I?
Yeah,
Oh.
I'd say so.
Yeah, right, you're making me nervous now.
You may go to college, you may go to school, you may have a pink Cadillac, but don't you make nobody's rule, man.
Austin got us all shook up and earned himself a BAFTA and a Golden Globe in Baz Luhrmann's Elvis.
Not taking it back! Takes everything from me, takes 50% of everything that I'll make!
Then he stole the show as the evil Fade Ruther in the blockbuster Dune 2.
Is that right? Well, you wouldn't be the first relative I've killed.
And this month, he roared into Sydney to launch his new film, The Bikeriders, a brutal retelling of America's first biker gang.
Hey! Told you to take that jacket off.
You'd have to kill me to get this jacket off.
You look pretty damn comfortable and very damn cool on the
you.
back of a Harley Davidson.
Thank you.
What was it like riding through the cornfields of Cincinnati?
It was so much fun. It was... Also, I was with Tom Hardy, who's my hero, and I've looked up to him for so many years. And so getting to, look over at him as we're riding through these cornfields and there's, 35 guys behind us on motorcycles, and those are moments I'll never forget.
I heard you describe it as like mainlining God.
Yeah, like mainlining God. Because it just makes you feel incredibly present.
How fast did you get?
I don't know, because the speedometer on my motorcycle was broken. So, because I was on an old bike, so I never knew. My thing was I had to tell myself not to smile, because I just wanted to, I felt so happy, I felt exhilarated. And so you have to, remind yourself to look tough.
What are you thinking back there?
What?
Right there, when you come charging in like that.
Nothing. I saw you squaring off with them guys. What do I need to think for?
You famously threw everything into becoming Elvis. So what did it take to become the smouldering, badass, bikie Benny?
The core that I knew from day one was going to be, one, the technical aspect of motorcycles. So it's just training a lot on a motorcycle and also just immersing myself in that culture, that feeling of your blood is just pumping with that love for being on two wheels and the freedom that you feel.
Starring alongside Tom Hardy and Jodie Comer, The Bikeriders is a gritty drama set in 1960s Chicago and a love letter to outsiders desperate to belong.
Do you ever feel like you're a bit of an outsider?
Yeah. I think I always feel like an outsider. I feel like everybody's very welcoming, and I've a lot of great friends and mentors and everything, but I don't know if it comes from a feeling of not wanting to rest on your laurels, like I never want to take anything for granted. And I think as well, I wasn't raised in this industry, I felt like an outsider from the beginning. I was very shy. I didn't feel like I'm not as outgoing as some other people, maybe.
The part of Benny was coveted by half the men in Hollywood. But the film's director, Jeff Nichols, reckons he was ready to cast Austin in riding leathers before he'd even changed out of his Elvis jumpsuit.
The director, Jeff,
Yeah.
he says that you are the most attractive man he's ever met in his life.
Jesus.
But seriously, how does it sit with you when terms like heartthrob are thrown around?
I don't know. I always find myself blushing and shrinking away.
He might be humble about all the attention, but when he hits the set, he goes full throttle.
The bikes that you ride in the movie, they are historically accurate, right? There are no mod cons.
No.
Were there any close calls that you had while on set?
I crashed once.
Oh.
They said the bike's cold, so it's not gonna, you gotta kickstart the bike, and so they said it's not gonna start, but if by some miracle it happens to start, we need a shot of you riding down this street. I got on the bike and I kick it and it started first go. It felt like the miracle came true, and so I took off. and I went down the street. And what I didn't realize is that they pushed all the wet leaves over to the right-hand side of the road. And I'd never hit wet leaves before, and it's like you're on ice all of a sudden. So the whole bike started to fishtail. At the last moment, I was able to get off and I landed on my feet, but the whole bike then spun out. And so, yeah, thankfully I didn't get hurt.
What will stay with you from this movie and from this story?
From this one, I think the friendships that I made, I mean, now I'm really addicted to riding motorcycles, so I think that'll stick
Keeping the
with me.
leathers.
Yeah.
Well, Austin Butler, it's been a joy chatting with you. Thanks so much.
Such a joy. Thank you.
What a chat from Sarah. That was
Very hard being
wonderful.
called a heartthrob.
It's
Something you've got to work on.
Is it difficult?
Motorbike
It's
tonight,
been
Bryce?
years and years I've had to push people away.
Oh, God, but you carry it so well,
I know,
Pricey.
I know.
You can see the Bikeriders in cinemas from Thursday, July 4.